Hi everyone, welcome back. This is going to be our second video about gold on why gold and silver, why these two were adopted by the world as money. So between the Stone Age and the Bronze Age, we saw a number of social and industrial changes that were occurring. These were large changes, and during these large changes, in this same time frame, gold and silver also morphed into use as the primary money. And the answer on why it was these two metals is not just because of the familiarity of them and what they represented in terms of wealth and power. There were also two very practical reasons. And we're going to start here with the first one. And we're going to use the periodic table to understand gold and silver compared to all the other options that were available. And I pulled all this information on this from just one source. So we start here with the periodic table. And first we have these elements that are not practical. These are gases, halogens. These are liquids. Gases and liquids are not going to be practical for money, so you can gray these ones out. And now the new darker gray. This is the same. These are the elements that are left, and these ones here in the darker gray. All of these are overly reactive and or otherwise not stable. So this is not going to be a suitable choice for money. So now out of the periodic table, all we have left now is the 49 elements in the middle. And of these 49, all but 8 had insurmountable problems. And part of this just had to do with 5,000 years ago, there was just inadequate technology in order to actually access some of these materials or some of these elements. So that leaves us with just 8 of these metals, and these are the suitable metals that remaining, or the options still remaining. These are noble metals, which means they would barely react with other elements. And of these 8, it was only gold and silver that were widely enough available. The rest were just too rare. Gold and silver were kind of in the sweet spot. And then in addition to that, gold and silver could be, the melting points were low enough that these two could actually be manipulated, and it just made them easier to access and work with. And so going back from the top, at the start of the Bronze Age, around that time, we needed a new solution for a medium of exchange. And the gold and silver properties that we just covered, they mapped very nice onto the properties that were desired for a medium of exchange. And it's kind of a busy table, but these are the desired properties. This is the gold and silver properties and how they mapped. And then here's the notes on how and why. And these two metals were just a really good fit for this task. And then the second piece is their availability via mining. So as we saw earlier, gold generally dispersed all over the planet, and because initially a lot of gold is near the surface, or gold is near the surface, this was available for really any civilization that wanted to mine it. And available doesn't necessarily mean it was easy to mine. And this is a more recent picture, but you get the idea that the mining conditions back then were probably not easy. But at the same time, 10, 15,000, maybe even thousands and thousands of years ago, you could mine gold and silver really with just these really simple tools. And humans also had knowledge for mining, and we have there's evidence that of mines as far back as 60,000 years ago. So we knew how to actually do the mining. So in conclusion, everyone at the start of the Bronze Age, most civilizations knew gold and silver. Gold and silver had a symbolism, it had meaning associated with power, wealth, and status. But on top of that, of all the options available, gold and silver had the best physical properties, and then they were accessible with our early and crude mining techniques.